I read an article, What is the Model Minority Myth? This is about the stereotype that Asian students are smarter and more polite and law abiding. And this stereotype may be perceived as positive by some people, but it's actually a very negative and problematic thing. It puts a lot of pressure on Asian students to be successful. And there was a story in the article about the girl who wrote it, about how she was struggling in math and she was perceived as not trying because she wasn't as successful as Asian students are stereotyped to be in math. And so instead of getting additional support, she was perceived as, not trying in her class at all. And they've even found in colleges that there are higher suicide rates in Asian college students because of this pressure. So it's a very negative stereotype, even though it seems to some people that being perceived as smarter is a good thing, but it creates an enormous amount of pressure and it's a real problem. It also ignores that Asian culture isn't just one culture. There are so many different Asian countries, so many different people coming from so many different places, and it clumps them all together into one stereotype, which is wrong. And it's also weaponized against other minority groups. Why are Asians so successful stereotypically, but other minority groups are not as successful? So it's used against other people, and it just makes everyone fight against one another. A quote that really stood out to me was, "By putting people of color in competition with one another, the myth distracts us from striving together toward liberation for all." And I thought that really encapsulated that problem.